Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to a combination of Secret Sauce Trade Review. How are all of you today? Well, I'm AJ. I'm one of the good mods in here, and we have a massive room of the greatest traders in here guiding everyone into money. The great Dark Side, Janny, uh, JT, James, Adam, been just shooting out news left and right, letting us know from Amazon to the White House. Dave the Trader. Palmer's just been so helpful this morning, especially on his Twitter feed. Um, just Raphael's just guiding us on Rad and Carvana and a few others. I mean, everybody, all the mods had their stuff they came to work today. Let me tell you. Myself, I kind of just this is kind of what I felt. I felt Um, as I explained to you yesterday in yesterday's webinar, I said if the Dow opens up at 400, 500, that's not good. We are flushing to red mark, no problems. So that told me right away that the stocks were going to sell off at the open. And that's what I wanted. And then all I had to do from there, and again, this is just 16 years of day trading. This is 16 years of understanding the market, feeling the market, understanding how to trade it, how to get the sentiment. I mean, there's just so much factors um, when I come up with these decisions every morning. It's just not, oh yeah, let me throw a dart against the wall and this will stick. That's not the way. That's not who I am. Everything is very methodical, very planned. I spend, you should watch me at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm watching CBC. My mind is just like a sponge. I don't know, I'm like a savant at that moment. Okay, how am I going to play this? What do I see? And it's just like all these numbers are going through my head. I'm listening, I'm listening, I'm listening. I'm watching the stocks flow across the board. I'm seeing the minute I saw Apple come across up $3 a share, I knew we were in trouble. I knew that's it. We are, you can't gap up. First of all, you limited it up last night, and then you pulled that off, then you were only up 300 to 400 because it sold off, and then on top of all of that, then hold on, hold on, I might stop and do a trade. Not yet, not yet. Hold on. So anyway, so once I started looking at that, I knew, you know what, this is going to be a nice sell-off at the open. So my main concern at that moment was, okay, I got to get everyone geared up and um, get ready because we're going to have a nice pull and we got to nail these bottoms. So for me, it was all about a pull and then hit these bottom pinpoints. Whether it was an earnings or whatever. So that's kind of like where I came from today. It was like, okay, I'm gonna, and um, I sold some stock like Boeing yesterday at 132. I think you saw that after hours. I even had, I think I sold Splunk this morning for 2 points at $98. I overnighted that. Um, I sold Amron pretty much flat on that one. Didn't make very much on that one. But needless to say, I was right. Once I got to feel the market, I was like, okay, first of all, the first thing I went after, of course, for my small cap short sellers that love this room, I immediately gave them a short at 14 on Kodak. I mean, that was an FDA changes policies on coronavirus, yada yada yada. It's a pump for Kodak, but in the end, it's a $10 stock. So that was easy. So I just kind of, if you look at the stock on that one, Kodak was very simple to do. Okay, so $14 short and $10, and it hit 10.27. So this was scripted. This was easy. To a lot of rooms, this would be the golden trade of all trades in the world, and they'll celebrate it for the rest of their lives. But in Awesome Calls, this is just a standard 101. Hello, day trading for dummies. This is what you do. I mean, it's just you take it short. There's no reason for it to be up. I mean, it's just 101. I mean, you could if you opened up any book, an act book, it would say short Kodak. I mean, it was just it's like I said to others, they'll celebrate this for the rest of their lives. To us, yeah, I can pick any of them did that. All right. Um, BNTX was joining forces with Pfizer to develop a vaccine. Any other kind of market, this would be a joke. All right. Why don't you develop it first? You know, but it's a thin stock and the float is small, so the stock really rips. For me, I felt that if the stock popped at all, it would hit the 70 mark, and then we would fade at 20 points to 50. If it pulled to 55 and didn't break, then it would go right back up to the 70 area. The stock had range today, a lot of range. And so I looked at this one, I simply thought, well, if I can't break 55, I can't get the rest. If it holds that 55 at the open, then the stock will rip back to 72 or 70 or more. And it did. It actually squeezed to 76. Now, should the stock be up here? Is the value of this company there? No, this is absolutely not. This is just at a right timing for this company. And they're building a nice position to do an ATM or an offering after the close. So hats off to them for being at the right place at the right time. The big trade today, one of the big great calls today was Win. Now I want you to understand this, and for all you chat rooms that use our services to keep your people happy. And by the way, we got another bunch of your people over in our room, so thank you very much for they're coming from. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I have to be quiet for a second. Hold on. Trying to scalp this. Hold on. It's moving too slow. Too slow. It's not popping. It's too slow. Yeah, I'm looking at Tesla right now. I want to break it out, push it, but it's too slow. I can't play it. Okay. It's too slow. You see, for me, too slow is like this. Whenever I'm trying to pop a stock for quick cash, you see this pop right, and then it tightens. You know, it tightens. It slows down, and that worries me. So I usually will get another pullback. Right now, it's pushing. I don't trust it. So I'm gonna back off on it. Let's see if we get a breakout later. Okay, so when to me, oh my goodness, it's moving. Shoot, hold on, it's all over the place. Hold on. I don't like it. I don't like how it's trading. It's not moving. It's sputtering. It's like I don't like the pattern. I don't like the pattern. I think it gives it up. Right, for me, win uh, win is eventually going to be a $35 stock, maybe 40. I think under 40 is when I would start considering really starting to buy it on a swing position. But win is really getting hurt. Simply the fact. Hold on. God, motherfuckers. They actually took money from me. They shouldn't have done that. I sold it on the push, and they actually took it from me versus giving it to me. It must have been the spreads on the route. This is when TD really becomes jerks. Yeah. Let's try again. See how slow they are? See how slow they are? Now they won't fill. See that? Now they took money from me. See how slow they were? See that? Wow. They stalled me on my fill. Did you see that? They took $150 from me. $100 on that one. I knew I shouldn't have touched it. Yeah, they took it right here. They stalled the fill, and then they pulled it, and then when I went to go sell it, they stalled again, and then they filled it. See that? Yeah. Anyway, it's all right. It's too early for me. Anyway, so win for me. Um, Eventually, look, the casinos are closed. There's no revenue coming in. The hotels are getting slammed because nobody wants to, you go to hotels to gamble, so that's going to get hurt. So this stock, to me, isn't really done, but it's getting. And what I mean by done, I mean there's more selling off, and I do think eventually we will see 35, $40 a share on it. And I think that would be a buying opportunity for a long-term retirement, especially for a casino like Wynn and a stock like Wynn. But for right now, this call was to short the stock to 50, and that's exactly what we did today. We shorted the stock to 50 right here. And I called for a short at the open, and a lot of traders banked on this one very nicely. It actually went below 50, which was really amazing. But I thought 50 would hold right here. See this 50 mark? I figured we'd hold this 50 spot, but it just pulled an extra point or two. So that was a phenomenal trade in the chat room. And then from there, it was just a long for short covering back up. And then I think tomorrow, if it gaps down and another pull, we'll get below 45 tomorrow. Uh, really, really great trade on that one. So I enjoyed that one. The other one was Zoom. This one didn't really get as high as we wanted. It took forever, but I wanted everyone to buy the 103 area on the pullback. I felt the market would pull it, and then we'd long it around 103, and the stock would eventually get back over to 114 a share. So Zoom turned out to be a really nice play in the chat room. Zoom right here. And there's 103. There's your entry, and it's already trying to get to 112. So very good trade there. Very good trade. The next one we did was these are our go-to stocks now, but let's talk about Regeneron. Regeneron is trying to discover and develop an antibody. They're going to be on Kramer's tonight, on Kramer's show tonight. Um, again, in a regular world, this kind of language gets shorted, but we're in a coronavirus environment, so this one kind of, even though I was kind of just looking at like, I can't believe you're up 50 points on that news. You trying to discover and develop an antibody. Okay, that's I need more than that. I'm sorry. I need, how about a vaccine or close to something, but to develop and discover something. I mean, it's like me discovering how to, eat something. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. That's just not. But for me, I felt the stock would cap off at 510, so I put a cap limit at 510. Then I wanted to short to 480. If it snapped 480, we would get the rest to 460. 480 was a key area for this stock, and I was really aiming for that. But I did feel the topping would be 510. About 510 would be the topping, and then I wanted everyone to short the stock to 480. Um, and that was just really where my head was at on this stock after reading everything. I was just staring at it going, this is, and that's what it did. There's the 510 area. Again, I had between I think 500 to 520. So dead center is right there at 513. And then here's the sell-off. There's the 480. See how the 480, it needs to break this. In the morning in pre-market, I think this was a really good short in the morning at the open. It did break the 480, but it found a base. They really wanted to keep it up, so it turned out nice. But I really wanted to really snap hard. But this ended up coming all the way down to $472. So I mean, from 502, that's 30 points. So it was a really good trade. I had the right idea, but I executed it wrong. And so this one kind of bit me, but it's part of the business, right idea, right everything. But because I got preoccupied, again, I'm helping the room, I'm trading on my own. This was one of my go-to stocks that I wanted to nail it. I actually was up $237. I remember flashing green, and when I clicked it over, they gave me 280 because I got into this pull. But I got greedy. I went back in about right here thinking, okay, I snapped the 480, so I went in and it snapped me back. This snap cost me like I think it was 400. So then I was negative 200 something. And I thought, okay, I'll go in and wait for another. So right here, I was going to pull it again. I thought, okay, just kind of curve and pull. And it snapped me here. And this one was a nasty one. So, it wasn't the nicest trade for me, but I kind of learned from it. So Of course, Tesla was my baby. I mean, without a doubt, this was just been a money machine for me. And I actually figured, the way Tesla was traded, I want you to look at pre-market, how I looked at Tesla. Tesla was one of these, just the fact that it was gapping down the way it was. You see how it was just kind of gapping down this morning on yesterday? And then on top of the gapping down, it couldn't even get going. And this morning it struggled a lot right here. It couldn't even move. So once I was looking at pre-market, like this thing should be up already at 480, but it wasn't. Just was trading so poorly, and I'm like, and it's thin, and I was like, you know what? This is a no-no. This is going to 400. This is it. This is the day. And so that's what I wrote. But I did feel 400 would be a bottom for it today, and then long it. And boy, if you hit 400 and just took 10 shares, you made $700? I mean, uh, it went 70 points today off the 400. I mean, they were buying it up here pretty aggressive on the short covering right here. But yeah, that was a good one. So I call that one to 400 and under, and then long it back to 470. So that was a great trade. And then of course Apple and Shop. Shop was a really good one. I did want Shop to sell off today to any initial pop, but this one actually sold at 307 versus 318. It went down even more. And of course, Apple was on target today, as always. Apple's a really easy stock for me to read. I got the range down. This one, I simply wanted to dump at the open, and I called for a 238 bottom, and then a bottom curl to 258. And I'll show you the trade. This was well executed. I mean, this was just well scripted trade on Apple. I was really pleased with the way I called this one out. I've been calling out Apple all week just to perfection, and here it is right here, 238. And then all the way up to 257. There's 258 right there. See that? Just absolutely beautiful. 38 to 58. This is why we play these stocks, because they have so much range. And of course, our baby Netflix. Netflix was this was the trade of the day. Without hesitation, this play was just phenomenal. The way I said, because I knew the market was going to sell off, I knew that Netflix would be another one to pull. And this time I calculated by looking at the stock, looking how it was trading, I felt Netflix would pull to 290 and then bottom curl and then long it for 10 to 15 points. I want you to see the accuracy of this Netflix call. Okay, so where did it go? Netflix. All right. So again, calculate that I want it to go to 290 and pop 15. So that would be what, 305 or more. Look at the trade on this one. But look at the bottom call. I mean, talk about perfection in day trading. Look at that. 290. Double bottomed, found its bottom curl, longed it. There's 305 right there. That's 15 points in the first 45 minutes of day trading. Wait for the pull, bottom curl, called 290, 15 points. I mean, you can't. Wow. AJ, so you knew, question in the room just now. AJ, so you knew the go-to stocks would sell off because SPY didn't bounce? Yes. It wasn't after hours, boss. It was pre-market. You're missing the point. Okay. I want you to listen to me very carefully. And again, you other chat rooms that don't know how to trade, listen to me. We had a limit up, right? We had a limit up. Okay. So it typically what should have pushed if the market was strong enough to rebound. And you're coming off a $3,000, 3,000 point day. Okay, that's terrible. You're coming off a 3,000 point day. So you needed the market to limit up and then push another 1,000. We didn't get none of that. Dude, we got none of that today. This was just pure up, limit up, then down 300, down, then they lose 700 on it, and then it's sitting at 300, and then it moves up to 400, and then so I didn't want to get past 500. I'm like, oh no, don't go. Just stay at 500 and under on the Dow up. This is really weird how I was looking at it. If the Dow could stay 500, I was telling myself, man, this Dow, this is going to plunge. And that's kind of how I knew the market was going to sell off right then and there. And that's how I played it. So, and it was just a matter of calling, having everything line up to the bottoms in pre-market. So again, this is something you can't teach a trader. This is something that you either know it, you feel it, you know what I mean? I've been blessed to be in this market long enough to understand how to read the market, and that's what I did. So, and that's why we are so successful every morning in this chat room. I mean, we're really nailing these calls because we understand what the market is doing and how it's doing, how it's reacting to the news. So anyway, so it was a wonderful day today. I'm trying to get to my 1,000. I'm almost there. As you saw, Tesla took me back. It took 150 from me, but it's not the end of the day. We still got 45 minutes to go. It won't take me long to make that money, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you for today's secret sauce today. Take care, and our webinar recap.